This is a pretty spontaneous video. I kind of felt like sitting down, just playing with makeup for no reason, which I haven't done for what feels like years, and I thought I might as well film it. So that's what I'm doing today. I haven't put eyeshadow on for the longest time, so I thought I would do like an everyday glam kind of look, so hopefully it turns out well. So I've already done my skincare. I'm gonna prime my face with the NYX Marshmellow Primer, which I think is one of those things that went viral on TikTok. I'm normally too lazy to prime my face, which isn't a good thing, but I'm going that extra step today just because I thought it would be nice to sit down and do this, because I feel like I haven't actually given myself any time to just sit and not do nothing, but do something that's really relaxing like this. And because I haven't wore makeup properly for so long, I just feel a bit crummy, so I thought it'd be a nice pick me up. So we're getting fancy today with some primer. If you haven't used this before or heard of it, it's so soft. It's from NYX, so I know it's affordable, and it literally smells like marshmallows. I'm normally not a fan of scented products, but this, so good. I'll usually apply a concealer on my lids just to add a base layer for everything to stick to, do my eyeshadow, and then do the rest of my face, just because there's less to have to clean up after. Something that I will apologise for in advance is that my brushes really need to be washed, so I'm sorry about that. So I've got a pot here that I use for every day, and they're all, you know, disgusting, but I've got a box here with a couple of brushes in, which I don't use all the time. I used to own an obscene amount of makeup and brushes. I had a huge clear out, but I still have extra brushes lying around everywhere, so I thought now would be a good time to use both the brushes and the products. So I'm prepping my lids with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this is a really full coverage concealer, and I'm not really a full coverage girl, if I'm honest. The only products that I do try and get full coverage in is concealers, because as you can see, I've got the craziest dark circles, and then under eye. I basically have under eye ditches, so I usually try and get full coverage in concealer just to help bring that forward and cover up the darkness. But this is probably one of my favourite concealers. It's lasted me for ages. You can use such a thin layer and it goes such a long way. I've got this in the shade Cookie, and I have another one, I think, is it golden? Yeah, this one's golden beige. This one, I don't think you can see very well from the bottles, but this one is, I'd say, a cooler tone, whereas this one is a lot warmer, and I like using the warmer one just to cancel out some of the darkness a bit more. I'm also not very good at doing my eyebrows, so I feel when I am putting eyeshadow on, if I prep my eyelids like this, it helps me with my brows. I feel like I have less to do later. Now that my eyelids are prepped, I'm going to go in with my shadow. I think I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury palette today. This is the Easy Eye palette, so it has 6 shades in it. This is one of my favourite products, to be honest. It has 6 shades in it, and it's perfect for this season, to be honest. This is the day look, these 3 here, and this is the night look. To be honest, in the spring and summer, that probably is more day and night. I think in this season you can get away with any of these colours any time of day. I thought this would be cute to use, so I'm going to start with the matte shade from the Day Eye. This is, do they have shade names? No, this is just the Day Eye and it's just the smoke shade. I really didn't think through doing this with no clean brushes, but we move. Something that I love, first of all, I'm obsessed with Charlotte Tilbury. I've been obsessed for years from the background. I didn't buy anything for so long because it is, to me, a truly luxury brand. Even though I did buy makeup from other brands that were probably in the same price range, I used to be more into like Urban Decays and things like that. I don't know why, I just always thought, oh, I wish I was a Charlotte Tilbury girl, but I just didn't feel like I was. And then I think it was last year I finally bought some of her makeup, and honestly I was like annoyed at myself for sleeping on it for so long, because it is such good quality. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's just, the quality of the products themselves are so good. The packaging is amazing. Something that I've always loved about makeup is when brands nail their packaging and their branding and their look. Charlotte Tilbury has got that down to a T. The packaging is so luxurious, which if you are paying a lot of money for, I personally like knowing that everything, every single part of a product is good quality. And the eyeshadows, I've never used eyeshadows like Charlotte Tilbury in my life. Like, nothing has ever lasted like her products do, so I honestly can't recommend them enough. Even though they are pricey, you probably get more value for money out of them than some cheaper products, because the eyeshadow doesn't come off. It will last all day. It literally stays, whereas there are some drugstore eyeshadows that I love, but I'll notice after a couple of hours, they, depending on what kind of eyelids you have, especially if you've got oily skin, they'll just, the product will lift off, and that doesn't look cute. I'm gonna use this shimmer shade, drama. I think I'm gonna use this shimmer shade next all over my lid. This is just a NYX brush, number 16, just a fluffy brush, just to apply that everywhere. Something else that I really love about Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, or just about the brand in general and the way she does makeup and the whole brand, the branding of the makeup, is that it's just so easy to do. I was really into makeup and stuff when I was younger, and beauty gurus and YouTube and stuff, and sometimes some of the stuff was so overcomplicated and you had to use, or you felt like you had to use so many products for so many different things that it was truly excessive. And now I'm just the opposite. I want to use the least amount of products and just get an amazing result. And I feel like with Charlotte Tilbury stuff, well, with Charlotte Tilbury products you do, but then you can also mimic the exact same techniques and get similar, if not the same results, depending on how you use the products. So in the interest of doing the least, I'm going to use the same brush that I just used and the slightly darker shade, more of an orange tone, just to add some depth into my eye. I've really missed just sitting and applying makeup for no reason. I used to do it all the time, and then for some reason I convinced myself that if I'm not going anywhere, it's not productive, or like it's pointless. But it's just so relaxing that you can't tell me anything different now. If anyone is watching this, then thanks, but even if no one is watching this, I think I'll still try and keep up with this just for my own sanity and well-being, because I just enjoy doing it so much. So I don't know if the camera's picking that up well, but that's just deepened up my eyes there. I'm just going to take any fluffy brush. I would say a clean one, but as you've seen, nothing is that clean. Usually, if you have got a tub of brushes or whatever and you're not sure if they're clean or not, or how dirty they are, I usually, especially with eyeshadow brushes, I just take them on the back of my hand and just do that. So if there is any excess product from the last time you used it, you can just dust it off. So I'm just going to use this to just blend everything out a bit more, because I like a really diffused look. Next, I am going to use a smaller domed eye brush. This is a Morphe E17 that looks like that, just to apply a lighter shimmer shade on the inner corners of my eye. My eye shape is a bit odd. I think my eye shape is hooded, but I have quite a big lid space at the same time. But I like the way my eyes look and my makeup when they are open rather than closed. So on the inner third of my eye here, I'm just applying the lightest shade from the palette, which is this champagne-y shimmer, and just I take it quite high up, so at this point I just don't acknowledge a difference between my crease and my lid. I just take that really high up and drag it quite low into the inner corner of my eye. I wouldn't worry about that too much at the moment, because we still need to apply concealer under eye, so that some of that might get covered, but it just makes such a difference to take it really high into the brow bone and just map out everything else. And then you can just go in with a blending brush after to blend it into the matte shades and everything on the outside. But that is probably one of my favourite things that I do with my makeup, just to open up my eyes a bit more and make them pop. Once I've applied the shades, I just like to go backwards and forwards with a mix of the original shades I used in my crease, just to blend everything together. That is pretty much the eyeshadow. Now I am going to use pencil liner. So I want a slightly softer look, so I still want my lashes to be defined, but not with a liquid liner. So I'm going to use, this is the Charlotte Tilbury, I think it's called Rock and Kohl, but this is the brown shade. This is probably one of the best eye pencils I've used. Again, this is a product that doesn't lift off, doesn't smudge off. It really lasts a long time. I just roughly apply it to the outer thirds of my eye. It doesn't matter if it's messy, because we want it smudged anyway. This is just a random angled brush. I think it was from like an Amazon set, and just use that to smudge out the edge of that liner, so it's not too concentrated. I'm not very good at actually winging out my eyeliner, so a trick that I do whenever I use, whether it's pencil or liquid, is I'll apply the eyeliner up to the end of my eye. If it's liquid, then I'll apply a little bit more there, and then I'll just take my finger and, like, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but it does work with the pencil as well because it's creamy. I just pull it out, with my finger like that, and it really lightly drags it out, so you don't have the pressure of trying to nail it with a brush or the pencil, whatever you're applying it with. I just smudge everything out above it, so I don't know how well that's picking up. That's my favourite way to kind of get a flick without actually having to nail it, and because it's so faint and subtle, it does add to the makeup look, but if you mess it up, it's not noticeable. We love less pressure. I finished off the eyeliner kind of off camera then. I just gently smudged it towards the inner corner of my eye, and then with the brush I just kind of went under and sort of in line with my lash line, just to add a bit of darkness there too, but not thick, because like with the eyeshadow I want to keep this side of my eye all light so it'll all open up at the end. So now I'll finally do face, which I'm hoping won't take too long because I feel like I did really ramble. I'm a really basic person when it comes to base. The only full coverage thing I'm going to use is the same Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I use the applicator to put it on my ring finger like that, and then I press it into my other ring finger to spread the product out, and then I apply it under my eye like this. So with my fingers, I've just found that it's the best way for me to do my makeup. I have really dark under eyes, but because of the shape and the depth of them, I feel like they crease a lot, and I'm not very good at applying my under eye concealer, to be honest. I've had to do a lot of trial and error, but when you need full coverage to get rid of the darkness but you don't actually want a thick amount of product there, I found this is the best way to apply it, because you get a really even amount spread across your fingers. Because you use your hands, you warm the product up, so it just goes on a lot smoother and easier than if you went straight in with a brush or if you applied it straight onto your face. I used to apply it straight onto my face, but then the amount of product would just be too much. I would then feel like I had to even it out by applying more full coverage products on my face so that it wasn't glaringly obvious how much I had under my eyes. Some days it looks amazing, and then other days it's like car crash. This is the way I do it at the minute. I try to apply it and then leave it to dry down a bit rather than blending it all out straight away. That's why it looks a bit orange, and then I just apply whatever I've got left on other areas of my face, and then I just try and slowly blend it out. I blend out the edges straight away because I don't need that to dry down. It's just the areas that I want the product to be concentrated that I like to leave. Then for my base, my favourite product that I have discovered, thankfully, because of the internet. So Rewind, I tried the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Airbrush Finish. I can't remember what it was called. It's not the foundation. It was the primer slash highlighter kind of product that you would use underneath your makeup, or you could use it as your full face base if you liked, which is how I would use it. However, it was just so heckin' expensive. I've still got mine because I used to use it sparingly, and I just didn't feel comfortable using it every day because of how expensive it was. So God bless Elf for bringing out this product, which is a dupe. This is the Halo Glow Liquid Filter. So if you're like me and you don't really like full coverage on your skin, or even if you like to build your makeup products up, I just can't get over how good this product is. I know that's gonna look crazy on camera, but I mean, it looks crazy in real life as well, but I am gonna blend it out. It's such a light coverage product that, like, that's not concerning. If that was a full coverage product, that would be concerning. The best thing I've ever discovered. So I apply it with the wand, and then I like to blend it out with my fingers, again just to warm the product up. Because it is such a light coverage and sheer product, when it does blend out, see, that doesn't look, now that I've blended that out, that doesn't look so crazy. But it just, for me personally, the thing I look for in a base is I just want to try and even out my skin tone as much as possible. because my cheeks are really pale, especially in the winter, and then I have a dark area around my mouth because of my skin tone. My forehead is the darkest area, so for me, I just like to try and find something to even everything out, and I always made the mistake of thinking I needed full coverage foundation or a product like that to do so, and you just don't. I feel like I come to life when I put this product on my skin. It's just so good. I already feel so much better for doing this. Like, I feel like a new person. So I can't actually hold my powder up to the camera because it's shattered and battered, but it's the Soap and Glory Kick-Ass powder. I think this is like my third one that I've been through. It's just such a good drugstore powder. I'm just taking the lightest amount of the golden beige shade just to apply on top, just to bring my eyes forward just that little bit more, just because of how dark that ditch is. I just like to add a little bit more lightness to that area, just so it all comes together. Then I'll just go back and blend the edges of that out between the flat brush and the fluffier concealer brush. There's definitely other things that I could do to improve my makeup and take it to that next level or make it more flawless, but part of me genuinely doesn't care enough to do that, and I feel like that's okay. On the daily, I would never spend this much doing my under eye concealer. I've just got the mindset now of I've got these dark under eye circles. It doesn't matter how much I sleep, what skincare I do, nothing is gonna get rid of them completely. So I just need the world to accept that, because I've accepted it. On the days where life is busy and I don't have time and I don't care enough to cover them or to cover them completely, I just need everyone to mind their own business, to be honest. As long as you feel comfortable with whatever you do, how you look, then really just does not matter at the end of the day. So I'm going to set my under eyes now. This probably is a bit sketchy because all my powder is shattered. I just take a small fluffy brush and push that powder under my eye to set what we've just put down. I don't use this powder all over my face. I just really like it for the areas where I want everything set in place just that little bit more. So I use it around my eyes. Wherever I applied the concealer, I apply it there. And then I really hate when I get the smile lines in my makeup, so I just like to push that product in there. That's just what I like to do. Next, I set my whole face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, which is one of the best face powders I've ever known, if I'm honest. I'm not really a powder girl, to be honest, but this is so lightweight and so not cakey that I feel fine applying it everywhere and know that it actually makes my skin look good. Apparently number 7 have an amazing dupe for this, which I am actually looking forward to trying. I'm not a powder girl, but I am a blush girl. I just love and I am obsessed. Because this is a fall look, I'm moving away from my usual pinky shades to a bit of a darker one. This is one of my favourite makeup products ever. This is Dallas by Benefit. I think it's somewhere in between a blush and a bronzer. It's just such a lovely shade. So I'll just go and apply that all over my cheeks. You can see, oh, you can just see what a difference it makes, and it's such a nice colour. I don't know why I haven't actually got this out yet, and it's basically almost December, so I'm a bit disappointed in myself for that. I just love this. It's so battered and busted, the actual my actual one, but that's also how you know that a makeup product is good and well loved. Whenever I'm applying blusher, I like to take it everywhere, across my forehead and on the apples of my cheeks, and then I do like to blend it down so it's accidentally, unintentionally been a few hours since I powdered my face because I had a visit from my mum and dad, but we moved. I'll very quickly finish this all off. Even though it's winter now, I still love the summer look of like putting blush across your nose. To bronze and warm my face up, I'm going to use this MAC Mineralize Skin Finishing Dark Tan, which is, I always find slightly sad because it is just the shade of my face when I've been on holiday and I've actually got a tan, but because I'm so pale now, it's bronze. I don't really contour unless I'm going out or like I'm doing a bit like slightly fancier makeup. I usually just like to use bronzer just to warm my face up and bring everything together. I've just accepted that I've got a really round moon shaped head, so I'm just gonna be round. Like, it is what it is. I'm not trying to chisel anything for the most part, to be honest. I also don't really know how to contour my nose, so I literally use whatever brush I'm applying bronzer with and just pinch the bristles so they go like that, and then from the top of my brow I just apply some of that. I don't actually know if it does anything useful. Then for highlighter, if there ever was a battered makeup product, it is this L'Oreal highlighting palette. It is literally falling apart. That's how you know it's a good product. I mostly use this second shade, which is Blazing Gold. For the most part, I usually mix these two, and then when I get slightly paler, I'll mix these two together. I like using a small fan brush to spread the highlight a bit more evenly, is not the right word, a bit more, to make it more dispersed instead of concentrated, basically. It's such a good product. Definitely one of my favourite drugstore makeup products and one of my favourite L'Oreal makeup products for sure. That is my skin pretty much done. So now I'll set my face. Setting my face is actually one of my favourite makeup steps. It just feels so satisfying, just feeling the mist on your skin. I'm using the NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I prefer using a dewy setting spray to a matte one just because I like the dewy makeup look. It is almost run out, so I'm gonna have to be careful that it doesn't get like clumpy. But I just wait for that to dry. While that dries, I'm just gonna brush my brows out to get rid of any product. I am going to do my brows off camera because I can't do my brows for the life of me. So I've filled my brows in with the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat. This isn't my go-to brow product. My actual go-to brow pencil is the NYX, I want to say it's called, it's like the micro brow pencil. That is my absolute favourite brow pencil, best one I've tried from the drugstore. I've just run out of my latest one. To set my brows, the Benefit 24-hour brow setter is my go-to brow gel. I think I've tried some NYX ones, and there was another drugstore brand I tried, but I have really thick, coarse eyebrow hair. They're not soft, they're not fluffy in the slightest, so I need security. I don't want anything to potentially move. Now for my lashes, I am going to curl them, which I don't normally do anymore. I kind of started enjoying the look of having more relaxed eyelashes, not up and curled all the time. For an everyday look, that is my go-to now. But when I do put eyeshadow on, and I've made a bit more of an effort, then I do like to curl them. Favourite drugstore mascara is this Soap and Glory one called Thick and Fast. It's such a soft mascara in the sense of it really adds definition to your lashes, and one of the things I love about it is how easy it is to take it off at the end of the day. If I'm not going out anywhere, then I always just apply this mascara, because it does what I need it to do. Gives me a nice amount of curl and length without dropping. I used to always do my mascara so that my lashes went straight up, but now I like to do it so they go out, so it ties in with the way I did my eyeshadow, of keeping all this open and then lifting and going out. I'm just going to use this flat Morphe brush. This is a M432. I'm not going to take a dark shade, I'm going to take the this matte transition shade, just a little bit of that, and just run it underneath. Last but not least, time for lips. My holy grail lip liner is this NYX lip pencil in the shade Cocoa. I've gone through so many of these, but this is my favourite shade for brown skin tones, so I really struggled to find a colour that I liked that didn't come up too pink on my skin or too dark. I love the way it looks. I love using it as a base no matter what colour I apply. Then for lips, I'm going to use the MAC Taupe lipstick and just apply that in the centre, rub them together for a nice mix. My hair is so bad right now that we're going to have to pretend that it's not a problem and that it's okay if everybody can do that. Normally I really like applying lip gloss on top of lip looks just to finish them off, but there's something about autumn and this season, and when you do go for a slightly darker lip, that I think that having matte or more matte lips just looks so good. So hopefully the lighting didn't get messed up too much, but this is the final look. This is the final look. I had lots of fun doing it. Kind of wish I had somewhere to go now. I'm probably just gonna walk the dog, and that's gonna have to be enough for the streets. I always feel when I do my makeup that I want to go out so people can see, you know, how good it looks, but I don't actually want to see anybody, so that's a thing. If you watched this video, then I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun putting my makeup on. I enjoyed the therapy element of it, and I think I'll see how I go when I edit this, but I might actually film some more rambly makeup stuff because it was fun. If you found anything useful from the video, please let me know, or if there's any product recommendations you have, please let me know, because I haven't tested any new makeup for so long. I've just stuck to what I know. I think to help me get through all the makeup that I do own, I will try and film random makeup looks. I can't get my hair right, but I can't get my hair right most days, so that's a different problem for a different day. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video.